Welcome back to Modern Mommies here on modernmommies.me. I am your host, Alexis Ann Moore, the mother of a really awesome 3.5-year-old little boy and the creator of the Superhero Children Project. And with me, I've got my beautiful co-host, Jennifer Perry. So Jennifer Perry, she's the mother of three beautiful teenage children, and she is also the school counselor of a ton of children in the Dallas school system. And I'm getting tongue-tied because it's the Dallas school system thing that I'm getting tongue-tied over with all this stuff that's going on there right now. But yeah, so Jennifer has a ton of children, and it's always a pleasure to be here with you, Jennifer. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing
good.
Sorry about that tongue-tied introduction. There's just so much going on in Texas right now. Every time I say a name of a different city, something new something else comes to mind right now.
Mm-hmm. You're right. Yeah. So much going on.
Really, really. I mean, I just thought of Wimberley. Like in Wimberley, all the devastation from the floods. Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Dallas and Houston and
everywhere.
So another thing that's coming to mind as I'm talking about things going on in various places in Texas is Jade Helm, which is coming up very, very soon. Mm-hmm. And that's something we're going to be talking about today. What in the world is that? What does it mean? And what does it mean for us as parents? We're going to be discussing tips and tricks to get through the summer sanely. And of course, we've got our Hot Daddy of the Week coming up. So stay tuned for that. And until then, so Jennifer, share with me something that is going on right now in Texas.
Okay, let's start out by talking about the whole Jade Helm thing. We touched on that a little bit a couple of weeks ago, but I wanted to kind of go back and revisit it because it's going to be starting July 15th, so just this next month.
Wow, that's next week. July 15th.
July 15th. But this is what's interesting. I started out researching the story because I wanted to learn more about Jade Helm. But as I was researching Jade Helm, there were some things that came across to me that really stood out. Some synchronicities that really didn't make any sense to me. And so that really kind of turned my focus and is going to really be more what we're talking about.
Okay.
So I'll give you a little bit of Jade Helm, and then let's talk about some of these weird coincidences that might be going on.
Right. All the things that we're just like, we're noticing them because people are posting them on Facebook, but then we just forget. We are the most forgettingest group of people ever. Sometimes I'm like, am I the only person that remembers?
Yeah.
Last year?
This just happened or what? Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so Jade Helm. It's that big military practice exercise that they're having in 8 states: Texas, New Mexico, California, Nevada, Utah, Mississippi, Louisiana, Florida, and Colorado was a part of it, but they're not anymore. So they're going to have the Green Beret and all of these people coming and doing military exercises in the middle of specific cities in these states. Okay, so as I was researching, I came across a release that was given from the Department of Defense around February, I believe, that said the specific cities in Texas that they were going to have Jade Helm exercises in. And so as I'm studying this information and looking at the cities, things started to first of all stand out. I know everybody knows that Texas threw the big old fit about Jade Helm, and the governor called in the National Guard. But I'm not sure if they realized that really started in a little town called Bastrop, Texas. It's right outside Austin.
Yeah.
And they were the ones that were really kind of throwing a fit, saying, whoa, we're not doing this. Something doesn't make sense here. So they had a big town meeting. Somebody high up from Washington had to come down and talk to the people of Bastrop to calm them down. And this was on April 25th. Okay. Now, I want to show you, because when I first heard about that, I was like, wait a second. I've heard of Bastrop in the news very recently. Why is that name coming?
That were the bikers had that shootout?
No,
Oh, that was Waco, right?
Yeah, that was outside of Waco. This, my friends,
whoa,
is Bastrop. Well, let me screen share. And so what I want to point out to you is on, can you see that? Okay, yeah. So on April 25th, the people in Bastrop were pissed and throwing a fit about this Jade Helm thing. And exactly a month later, there was massive torrential floods that have pretty much taken out the entire town of Bastrop. And this is just like a little 40-second clip, but I mean, it's a population of like 5,000 people. And the town has, for the most part, parts of it have been totally decimated. They've had to call in the National Guard. They've declared it a disaster area. And so FEMA's come in to help, blah, 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 blah. Okay? So let me quit screen sharing this. Sorry. I'm not that great at this part. Okay. All right. So when I saw that, I was like, wow, that was really weird. As I was looking, I saw a list of the specific cities in Texas that were supposed to have these exercises in them. Of the 12 cities that were supposed to have exercises done in them in a month, on May 25th, all of them experienced extreme flooding to where now they've been called a national disaster area, and FEMA and other workers have been called in.
Whoa, that's weird.
Yeah. And so as I was like, no way. And I wish you could see a picture of my notes, because I literally have the cities. And I just went and I took like Big Springs, Texas was the very next city on the list that the Department of Defense has said they're going to do these exercises in. So I went and I just Googled Big Springs, Texas, and this is what I found. Major flooding.
So I wonder, okay, so, all right, and that last one for Bastrop, I saw in the picture, it said that the dam failed.
Because oh, go ahead.
Well, because the storm, because you know, like Houston was flooded too, but not like that. Like, no, people's houses were definitely flooded here, and that, and I know a lot has a lot of bad stuff's happened as far as that goes, but not like that, not like devastation.
Yes.
You know?
Yes, and of the cities, Caddo Lake has been declared part of the disaster area. Caldwell, College Station, Goliad, Junction, Minard, San Angelo, San Antonio, and Wharton and Victoria. It just
is something to pay attention to, and just remember those things. So like, I've had a lot of times in my life that I've had these nudges, and it's like an intuitional nudge as far as politics is concerned. And I'm like, you know what? Note to self, because I can't really like draw those lines firmly from that information, but note to self, this feels weird, and just forget this and we're not really a political show. That's the thing. We are about truth and honesty and knowing that we're doing the best we can to protect our children. And it seems obviously that our children, we have to protect them most of all from government agencies like the FDA. Monsanto is very all tied up. The pharmaceutical companies who no longer care to make sure that they are doing, you know, going above and beyond to provide the best that they can and take care of people, because they have, like, they run the market. And if you say no, you get your children taken to CPS, you know? So we don't mean to be a political show. That's just, we are trying to figure out how to keep our children safe. So I had this well, I don't know. That opens a whole nother can of worms, but I pay attention to my intuitional nudges with those things. So let's pay attention to that. I mean, I know the devastation out there. I have a friend who was part of the search and rescue team, and she told me, as far as, can you even imagine what it would be like to be the very first people there after something like that, seeing homes completely destroyed and just everything is just crushed and crumbled. I mean, that's insane, and that's taking up so much of Texas right now.
Yes.
We have so much going on here right now.
Yeah. There are people who need food and clean water and places to stay.
Need them. So, what's funny is during that storm, the clouds looked crazy. Did you see pictures of like those weird circle clouds in the sky in Houston? And like, they say those are normal clouds. It's all coming to me now. Like, people were posting pictures of those all over the place. And I remember there was just this wall of like black. It was crazy. I don't know.
Yeah. Just something to be mindful of.
It sucks to feel like when you're talking about these things, like, oh my God, they're going to call me a tinfoil hat wearing crazy person. But really, like, the people to like make it okay to have Monsanto be like legally protected while they are destroying our bees, our like everything in nature, the water, everything, and poisoning our kids. Like, it just seems to me like that level of ugly, would maybe have some crazy freaking weather machine, because like, that's not crazy. I mean, back in the 70s, they were testing telepathy and remote viewing and all of this stuff, and it wasn't for the greater good. It was because they wanted to like find people and kill them, So that was the 70s. Think about what else they've created since then. I mean, seriously. Just saying. So that does sound freaking nuts, Jennifer.
Yeah, I mean, something's just. The more I thought about it, because I talked to my husband about it, he's like, why? What's the point? What would people get out of that if there's some big theory? And I was like, you know what? I don't know. I just think it's weird that if you think of like from a tactical standpoint, the whole idea is divide and conquer. I just think it's interesting.
If you wanted to like take over the country and like do some martial law, create, over the country, the people you'd really have to worry about and separate would be these Southern people,
Right.
The fuck, like, get the hell away from my kid.
Yeah. But you know what? What I realized is we would say that until you were starving or you needed clean water or a place to keep your kid. And then some people might be more willing to beg people to come in and help them.
Right. Weren't we? I mean, we've been trying to succeed forever here in Texas. So I don't really know if that's a sign of anything. I know that there was talk of succession, like, I don't know, last year or something, maybe a couple.
Yeah, there was a group that wanted
on. I don't know if that's Abbott. I don't really know much about Abbott. I've been making fun of Rick the Hair Perry, for so long. I can't wrap my head around this new guy. So Abbott, like, he has been paying attention, and he knew that people were going to make fun of him, and he stood up and tried to like say, hey, this feels weird, and everyone like totally ridiculed him and made fun of him for questioning something that could, if it's at all possible that these people don't have the intentions they're saying. If it's even possible, it could go really bad, like, we have to trust that they are telling completely the truth. And if they're telling not the truth, it can go really, really bad. So he's paying attention to that and trying to have measures in place to protect us. And he gets ridiculed hardcore. I mean, they've been calling our governor the tinfoil hat wearer, And hopefully he hasn't completely backed off that, because it would feel a lot better. because this is some crazy stuff. Like, we're about to have military, and it's covert. It's so covert. They say you won't even know that they're there. If they know, if you know that they're there, then they're not doing it right. And they're doing things like practicing, like rolling into the back of a truck in the middle of the night so no one can see. Like, it's all about
when they're trying to infiltrate into those communities without being noticed.
Right. And that's what the whole thing is. But it's like, that's crazy, because they're gonna have guns and stuff too, you know. And they say, hey, we have water guns, and it's like, hey, let's do this. You know. But it's not water guns, you know. We want to know. There's nothing wrong with standing up and saying we want to know. I mean, that's the whole point. The government is not supposed to be in power of us. We're supposed to be in power of it. We pay them taxes to work for us. And so we are supposed to be able to question what the hell they're doing, especially when they're bringing guns into our backyards and all of that crazy stuff. It doesn't make you crazy. And we should be able to talk about these things, even if they sound crazy, like talking about weather machines. I mean, why would we even think about that if it's not? I mean, it could be true, crazy science people, but the fact that it even comes up shows that there's a lot that doesn't feel right. So we don't know what to look at. We don't know. We're just like, dude, I don't think that feels right over there. We should be able to talk about it. And we should be able to talk about it without having a disclaimer first, saying, hey, I know this is going to sound crazy, but we should just talk about it, which is what we're doing here on Modern Mommies. And thank you for tuning in. And we appreciate you giving us a space to be able to even have this discussion.
Absolutely.
Do we have anything to add about what's going on in Dallas with the swimming pool?
Well, okay, I don't know. I'm from McKinney, where the incident happened. And so I don't know if all of the facts are common knowledge yet, or if they're not.
Okay, hold on. Let me introduce this. So, as Jennifer just said, but I'm going to say it like snazzy with jazz hands.
All right.
Jennifer is from the neighborhood over from this. And so she knows a lot of stuff. Plus, she's involved with all these families and people and everything just from being in the hood. So, take it away, Jennifer. What the heck is going on about this party in Dallas?
Okay.
That's actually why I stumbled when I said your name. I thought of that, and I was like, oh, I had these like crazy scenes of like stupidity going on, and I stuttered a little bit thinking.
No. Okay. The McKinney thing, really, in a nutshell, when I first heard about it on Monday, and people were like, oh, they're trying to make it a race thing. It's about a race thing. There was a girl who wrote an article. I'm going to try to keep my opinion out of it because I like my job and I like to live where I live. So there was a girl who wrote an article that summed it up very beautifully. That's what I would like to probably say about it. Craig Ranch is a more affluent neighborhood. I don't live in that neighborhood. I live in the one, a little bit down from it. But it costs some money to be able to live there. And sometimes people in the town have a tendency to have an attitude of, well, if I have enough money, then I can buy an area or a neighborhood where I can pick and choose who I want to be around or who I want to hang out with. And that really, in a nutshell, is what happened here. We had some kids who, some of them lived in the neighborhood, some of them didn't, who had a pool party. They had a DJ. It was the end of school. And the DJ set up right outside the pool, and he was playing music. They were teenagers. And so that part, at that point, really wasn't racing at all. They were teenagers. And so whether you're white, black, yellow, red, all of our teenagers are listening to this kind of music right now. There were some people who lived in the community.
And they're being pain in the butts.
Yes. What 15-year-old is not a pain in the butt? Which one doesn't talk back? But Dejaria is a whole other thing, so we'll get to that part. So there were some adults in the pool who lived there who started making really more economic slurs to the kids. They were saying things like, you don't belong here. You need to go back to your Section 8 housing and things like that.
Wow, that's so ugly.
Yeah.
I mean, could you imagine? Hold on. Imagine being the person where that phrase can actually come out of your mouth at somebody. You know, like that would, I can't even repeat that. It feels like crap in my mouth, you know? Like imagine who you'd have to be to fling that kind of shit out of your mouth at a kid.
Yes.
Holy crap.
An adult at a kid. So there was a white kiddo at the party who stood up and told the lady, hey, don't talk to people like that. That's not okay. You know, you shouldn't talk to people and do that to people. Which I will say, the amazing thing about McKinney is our kids will stand up for the right thing, and they will take up for the person. And I think as we're seeing it more and more go, our children are more tolerant of different socioeconomic lines and race lines than clearly our adults are. I think that's really one of the things that it pointed out. So the adult gets up and starts screaming in her face a little bit more. The adult ends up slapping one of the kids, and a fight ensues. Yes. So then the adult, another adult that was with the adult that was doing the slapping.
Can't buy you class, obviously. You know what I mean?
Right. It can't make you a nice person or a good person on the inside. So then the lady who started the whole fight, her friend picks up the phone and calls 911, and the police come. So when the police come, of course, all of the 15-year-olds scatter and they run from the one police officer. And then that's when you see the video, and it takes the video. And that's when it began to kind of start to turn into maybe a little bit of a race thing, because then he was only grabbing and stopping, it appeared to be minority people. That party was not a party of just minority people and minority kids. But if you look at the video, the only kiddos sitting down and being handcuffed were minority kids. The little boy who was taping the whole thing was a little white kid. And you'll notice in the video, a couple times the officer even interacts with him. He never had a problem with him standing there taping. So fast forward to Dajaria, the 14-year-old girl. Okay. I know Dajaria, and Dajaria is really she's a good kid. Will she speak her truth? Yes, she absolutely will. But isn't that what we want our kids to do? Yes. So was she over there mouthing? She was.
I would have been too. I would have been too.
Right, because, and now it all makes sense, because they were probably mouthing like, hey, why are you coming after us when this crazy lady's the one that started it?
Right.
But nobody had that frame of reference.
Not only that, but imagine, I get really emotional and upset every time I think about the fact that my friends, my Black friends who are mothers, that have to teach their kids when they're little what to do when you encounter the police. They do it because they love their kids and they want them to be safe. It's got to break their heart to even, how could you even have that conversation with a child? They'll say, why? Why is this different for me? Like, how do you even explain that to your kid? And yet every single Black mother I know has that conversation with their kids. I can't even imagine that. So imagine being the kid hearing that, you know, and you're hearing that from a child that you're different and you're going to get in trouble, you know, so this is how you deal with that. And then imagine these kids, they're growing up together. They have all these different races of friends. And so they're like, no, I'm normal because we're freaking human beings. And then they have this happen, and, you know, and the police brutality and all of the stuff that's been going on. Imagine how teenage children are handling that right now. And then to have it happen right there at a party, it's a birthday party.
Yeah, end of the school year party.
I would have lost it. I would have freaking lost it if I was there.
Yeah. And then for him to take it to a whole other level to get physical with her. That's that's one of the parts that stood out so much for me. We work in schools all the time, and teenagers mouth off and they say things, but we don't body slam them. We don't shove their head into the grass. You know, we don't do that. And so if we have strategies to do that, shouldn't our police and our government officials be required to have those same type of strategies? I mean,
there's something seriously disconnected, but I'll tell you something else that's interesting is like, I have tried to get some of my friends, like get somebody to come on to actually talk from that voice that I was just sharing. I mean, I'm not the most authentic person to even be delivering that information, you know, of like what that must feel like to have that conversation with your kid. But I have my friends on one end, my Black friends on one end having the discussion with their friends, and then we have us on our end having the discussion with us, but nobody's like coming together to say, look, seriously, this is not a race thing. This is a power and control thing and a separation thing. And we're all human, and let's all get together and say, screw them together, you know, because it really isn't a race thing. Everything out there is just to separate us and make us feel like we're not powerful, but we really are powerful.
Yeah, it's a human being thing. It wouldn't matter if it was a boy, girl, a purple person. Nobody should have been treated that way. Either way,
you know, a dolphin, a freaking cow,
yes,
like, any living creature, we're all one. Our
kids are getting that, I think.
Yeah, you know what's crazy is like, to me, like I have to really think about the times that I've seen racism in my face, except for like towards me, just from scowls and glances of hatred that I feel when I like walk into places, and that's weird. But for me, I grew up in the Heights in Houston, and my three best girlfriends spoke Spanish, not English. One of them spoke both. She was bilingual. And I thought it was normal that I didn't speak the language where I grew up. You know, like I went to their churches, like everything was in Spanish. We had, you know, like confetti eggs and like everything. And that was my life. And then I went to magnet schools. I bused to all these different schools. So like I went to schools that were predominantly Black, and then I went in high school. It was just everybody. I went to the high school for performing arts, and we were all races, all nerds. We had a good time. But I've never, when I moved to Austin, I was shocked by the segregation in Austin. Like all the neighborhoods are separate and everybody loves each other in theory, but they don't ever come in contact, or they didn't when I was living there. It was freaking weird to me because I grew up in Houston. It's just normal.
That's a good point. They do. Everybody does live separate in Austin.
It's very strange for such a loving city.
I never thought about that. That's crazy.
But in Houston, everything's all mixed up. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I've just been naive because I don't want to see that kind of stuff. Maybe, but
yeah.
Well, we need to look at it totally different, and we need to change it from being a race thing to being a separation thing and a false BS thing, and like somehow come together and have this conversation together, because people, like, we're all having this conversation, but like nothing's going to change unless we have it together. What are we going to do about it? Basically, what are we going to do about it? Like, are we going to do this some more? Because this is stupid what we've been doing.
Yeah.
Well, all right. So on that note, let's think of some things to keep us sane this summer. How about that? As all this stuff going on, especially here in Texas right now, let's find ways to make our lives easier. So we've got our tips and tricks, and Jennifer, start off giving us some life hacks, right? Summer life hacks.
You want me to start off, or do you want to start off? Tell me.
After you.
Okay, well then, let me pull up the other screen.
We're gonna do some life hack summer saving tips, and then we're gonna do some like, oh my God, I'm home with the kids all summer.
Yeah,
saving tips, because I've been there for the last few weeks.
Okay.
Like, oh my God, what do I do? All day long.
Oh, okay. So I'll start out with a couple of little quick life hacks that you can use to make your summer easier. Some things that I found that I thought were really, really cool. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, so you put your ice cream in the freezer
Yeah.
and it gets rock hard, and then you bend your spoon, or it takes it forever to get it out.
Yeah, and you can't just wait. You can't just wait for it to get soft.
No, because then it gets gross. So you put your ice cream in a Ziploc baggie and then put it in the freezer, and it will keep it soft.
What? I didn't even know that was an option to keep it soft. That's so cool.
I know. Try it out. I don't know. That's what the research says. I thought it was pretty cool.
That, at least some of our viewers like ice cream. So
yeah. Oh, I love ice cream. I love it.
Okay. Because I'm like, I don't want ice cream now. I wanted ice cream 5 minutes ago. Get in my mouth,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I will bend the spoon.
Okay, next one. The beach. Okay, everybody that knows me knows I love the beach so much.
Yes.
This is really a new one. I've never seen it before. Maybe I've been living under a rock. But you know how you go to the beach, you get in the water, you get out, there's sand all over your feet or your legs. Yeah. And then you have to get in your car, or you walk up to your hotel room or whatever, and then there's sand everywhere. If you will take baby powder and rub it on your feet, the sand, I guess it kind of sticks to the wet sand, and the sand just falls off your feet.
What?
So then it's not in your car. It's not anywhere. It's on the beach where it belongs.
That's cool.
Yeah.
My friend who goes to the beach a lot with her daughter was talking about how she's like, one trip to the beach and your car is ruined. Like you can try so hard to keep it out of the car.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, and you just can't get it out. Okay, next one I found that was pretty cool. Water balloons. Okay, there are a couple of uses that I'll talk about the water balloons first. If you will take water balloons and freeze them, then you can put them in a cooler, or you can put them in a cute little container instead of ice. And then it keeps all of the drinks or your beverages or whatever cold. Then as the day goes on, they start to melt and turn into water, and then your kids can throw them and have fun as water balloons.
Kids, like I'm doing that at my next party.
I know. And I did kind of kid friendly, but they had like little baby balloons that they put around like little vodka things. I mean, you could really put a really cool adult theme with it.
That's so much fun. I don't know if I can go adult theme. I mean, I'm totally about, guess what? And then like water balloon,
Kapow! Yeah. The other thing I found associated with balloons is if you ever take your kids to the pool or the beach and they have trouble getting the water out of their ear, if you'll give them a balloon and have them blow into it like they're trying to blow it up 2 or 3 times, that will push that water out of their ear.
Really?
That's what it said. So try it out and let us know. It looks pretty cool. And I guess that would make sense. Kind of the same concept of like airplanes and stuff.
Hey, if any of you out there follow our tips and tricks, if you try any of them at home, let us know how it works out for you.
Yeah.
Somebody let me know about this blowing the balloon for the ears. I mean, I know at least one of you are going to the beach this weekend.
Oh, so yeah. Yes. Okay, back to ice cream. I thought this was a pretty genius thing. Okay, you know how you eat ice cream cones, but then if it's hot, you don't really get to the end of the ice cream because it just gets soggy and the cone falls through and it just turns into a nasty mess.
Yes.
Okay, so you take a marshmallow, stick it into the bottom of the ice cream cone, put the ice cream on there, and as you're eating it and it melts, the marshmallow will kind of soak up the ice cream and it will prevent it from falling out of the bottom of your cone.
That is really cool.
Yeah. Kind of like that whole concept when the ice cream man came, you'd get the bubble gum at the bottom of the, remember?
Yeah. Wow. Back when I used to eat like Yellow Lake number 4 and red dye and all that stuff, and the ice cream truck was fun. Now the ice cream truck is like dun dun dun.
Danger.
You know what? You would make some money. No, maybe not in my neighborhood, but you could make some money with like an organic ice cream truck. Just go hit up the cool neighborhoods. Hey, like, so if somebody goes out there and starts that business, please come to my neighborhood. I will buy ice cream from you every single time and make it a good song. Please.
Yes.
Make it a good song. Like some like, you know, Marvin Gaye or something.
Yes. Not Let's Get It On or anything like that.
Dude, that's how I feel about ice cream. Once the door's closed, I mean, like
my ice cream and my spoon, that's all I need.
I mean, let's not fool around here.
Oh, that just went a whole ugly way. Okay. Speaking of fooling around with your feet, I've got kind of a cool last thing. Okay, you know how some of us still have winter feet where we really haven't paid that good of attention to our feet to make them all beach ready. If you will mix a 1/4 cup of Listerine, a 1/4 cup of vinegar, and then a 1/2 cup of warm water, or as hot as you like it, put your feet in there, let them soak for like 10 to 15 minutes. And when you're done, you can take like a wash rag and just wipe it off, and it just wipes right off.
Well, that's crazy.
I know.
What does that mean, man? Does that mean that skin is like...
Well, it's dead skin, so it must be like the base and the Listerine with it is literally just eating it off. And then exfoliant. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm going to try that tonight. And next week, I'm going to say something.
But all right, cool.
I am going to try that one. That one's easy.
Like putting on goggles and like sticking my face. No, that was crazy. That's just that is insane. I was having a conversation earlier today about pineapples because I had my friend's daughter over for a couple of days, and she ate way too much pineapple. She's like, I like pineapple, but my tongue is raw. And I told her about the enzymes and how people put that on their face for that reason, you know. Listerine, yes, maybe for my feet, but yeah, it's got to be the same concept. But I know there aren't like enzymes in Listerine.
Yeah, but I think Listerine's just like hardcore alcohol,
right?
So if you mix alcohol and that base, it's probably just eats it all off of there.
Yikes! Well, there you go. So, all right.
But that I would rather do than take one of those. Oh, you know how they take those razory things or whatever and just razor it all?
Yes, I go get a pedicure and I'm so ticklish. And it's just hell for me. I think because I'm laughing, but I can't help it. I don't want to be laughing. It's just tickles so bad.
That is funny. Okay, so that's what I have for you. So
all right.
Tell us how we can survive summer with our kiddos.
Okay, so my son, and I adore my son. He is awesome. Like, my kid is still a pirate. For those of you who have been following, he's been a pirate for like 2 years now, at least. And he just ups it a notch every day. He's even more of a pirate every day. But he also loves unicorn and purple and sparkly stuff, and it's just great. But he's really, really into imagination play. And I have found that as much as I feel like I am so connected to my inner child, and as much as I love to be with my kid, I can only handle about 5 minutes of hardcore imagination play before I'm exhausted. Like, I am just exhausted. It's like I've used all of my everything, you know? So I've been trying to come up with like, what in the heck can we do to fill the day up? So we're not just sword fighting all day long and being, you know, Captain Hook. And here are some things I'm totally going to try. All right. Bring up for me table plus blanket plus kiddo equals awesome.
Oh gosh, I hope that's this one. Okay, because they don't show to me like that. Okay, I'm just going. Yep, I think this is it. Yes.
It's a picture of a table and a blanket and a kid and awesome. Okay.
Kapow!
Yeah, I'm so going to try that. So I think the trick is I'm not going to use a blanket. I'm going to use a sheet, and you're going to have to really make sure it's tight.
Yeah.
I might need help for that. But if I set that up under the table, oh my God. My son will be busy forever.
That's
He has
hours.
so much fun with that. I mean, he's 3.5. He's not a little thing like that girl in the picture, but that was kind of cool. I mean, you got to come up with something. You got to find something for them to do, or else.
Yeah. Yeah, if you don't give them something, they're going to come up with something that may not be what you want them to come up with.
Well, that too. See, you go there mentally because you have teenagers. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't have that. I have a 3.5-year-old. And what that means for me is he's going to be like on my leg wanting me to sword fight all day long. Can only do so much. Not 5 minutes for the whole day, but like 5-minute increments. I can't do more than that. I can't. And I can Lego for about 15. I've been timing it because I need to know what am I going to do this summer. Okay. So that's one thing.
Okay. That takes up 15 minutes. What are we going to do with the other 9 hours and 45?
Right? Okay. So play fort. So Zane and I have been getting into the world of play forts, and this is awesome. I know we have one of these. Can you pull up the picture?
Yeah, that is really cool. They made a fort in my living room last night, but I wish I would have known about this.
Right, because we have limited space, limited chairs and like clips and all the things. Like building a pimped out fort takes a lot of little things. And but a box fan, that'll hold it up. That's so cool. He would love to be in there. And then he could go in there and like have fun with the fact that there's hardcore like air blowing at his face. I mean, throw feathers. He could throw feathers and
read books, all kinds of things.
Yes, reading books. Even we set up a fort a little while ago, and I put a little like pillow place, like just a pile of pillows in there for him to lay down and eat his snack and watch a movie and like fall asleep and take a nap in the fort. Like, that was fun for him. And it took up half the day, and it was lovely.
Well, and that's creative, the whole building process and doing it and everything. So that's half the time, and then you have the time of playing in it.
Yeah. So you build it together. You leave each other alone, and they like that too. Like they like having their own little place, their own little thing to do. That's just for them,
Absolutely, very cool.
That age, anyway. Okay, and then for me. This one's for me and for you mommies out there. I tell my son, I'm like, dude, I can't sword fight. I'm doing the dishes. I need 2 hands. It is all the time. I'm not joking about this. So I tell him, if you're going to be in here, you can be in here with me. Why don't you help me? And he does. So this right here is showing like, make it a game. So if your kid's going to be right there under your feet while you're doing stuff, then like set up a game for them. Like this one right here, I guess they're telling the little girl, let's sweep all the paper into this square, and she is. So my son is awesome at helping me with the dishes because I think I said this a while back when I first figured it out, but he's the perfect height to just pick it up and hand it to me, and then I put it in the cabinet and I don't have to bend over 100 times. Cool.
And what a great way to teach kids responsibility. Because you have to give them little jobs when they're younger to make them feel part of the family, and that teaches responsibility.
Plus, it's not fair. If you only get 15 minutes to yourself a day, spending it sweeping and doing the dishes sucks, that's
not really time to yourself.
Right. Well, it is when you have a little kid on, and like 3.5, when he was 2.5, it was a lot, like I couldn't get stuff done really.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No.
But you get them to help you with those things, then those aren't I'll do that when he's taking a nap things. That should be your free time. So like this summer, have them help you take care of all that stuff. Be like, look, kids, like this is what we have to do. This is how we do it. Join me.
Genius. Very genius.
If they're going to be home, and make it a togetherness thing, not a like, no, you didn't do your chores thing, because that sucks. Nagging a kid to the list of stuff to do just makes your day even worse. So like make it a togetherness thing. If you're starting off with young kids, then have them grow up with the feeling that this is something we do as a family and I'm doing my part, instead of, oh gosh, I gotta blah, blah, blah,
Yeah, absolutely. That way they know they contribute to the family.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And when they're real little, like my son, I say things, I'm like, oh my gosh, you're so big. I bet you can carry this bag of groceries to the house. And he's like, yeah, I am. Watch how big I am. Yeah.
Emotional manipulation at its finest.
You're so big, Zane. What else you can do? You know?
That's
He
funny.
gives me stuff now. I'm like, hey, go get me a glass of water, please. And he's like, okay, I can do that. Yes, you can.
Mm-hmm. What a fun age, yeah.
And just find a way to survive the summer, but but look at it differently. Like, look at it like when you are feeling like, oh my gosh, I just need a minute. Like, look to see where there are places in your day that you can make it a loving, fun togetherness thing instead of feeling like the need to just break away for a minute, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If
Yeah.
at all possible. And if you have your own tips and tricks, share them with us. Come to the Facebook page and let us know there, or comment on the YouTube page, the YouTube channel. We love to hear those, and we'll share them if you share them with us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And let us know if the tips and tricks work or if they're a fail.
Yes, please.
Mm-hmm.
And now,
all right,
without further ado,
do it again.
This week's wait. I think I got ahead of myself. Wait.
Okay, ready.
This week's Modern Mommies Hot Daddy of the Week is Jeremy Horton. Jeremy Horton, congratulations! You are the Modern Mommies Hot Daddy of the Week. So check out this picture. Like, it's because of this picture. This is just a great picture of a daddy and a son. So Jeremy is a bass player. He is as you can see here, he is a professional musician and an awesome daddy. And he got a job, having his dream job, teaching music to kids. He teaches at School of Rock in Clear Lake, and teaches kid like the movie School of Rock, but it's real.
Oh yeah.
And he teaches these kids how to have bands and takes them out and they do their shows. And what's really cool about that, and the reason I'm telling you, is because he takes Maddox with him. He has a tutor that goes there and does things for him like that. But really, like, he has a job where he can bring his son, and they spend a lot of time together that way. And when they're not there, just sharing life together, they're at the park playing soccer. So for that, Jeremy, we say, there they are, the park. Probably soccer. So for that, we salute you and say congratulations and well done, sir, for being a stellar daddy. And we love stellar daddies. It's super hot. So if you have a hot daddy at home, or if you know one and you would like to see them honored here on Modern Mommies as the hot daddy of the week, send them in. Go to our website, modernmommies.me. There's a place to upload your hot daddy. Send us a picture and a brief reason why. You can also send it to us on the Facebook group page at, find the Modern Mommies page on Facebook and join us there and share your info there with us too. Send us your hot daddies, and also let us know how the tips and tricks worked out for you, and let us know if you have any you'd like us to share for you next week. All right. So, hey, Jennifer, it has been fun. As always, I've missed you. We've been off the air for pretty much all of Mercury retrograde.
Woo! Yes, and if anybody has like teachers in their family, they know what end of the school year is. And so today is my official first day of summer. So now I can like kind of breathe.
Yay! Congratulations.
I'm so excited.
So everybody, I'm playing with effects because I think I'm not supposed to.
It's our show. We can do what we want.
Because I am a giant child. I couldn't find this last time, but yeah, we've been off the air for a few weeks, so forgive us. We're working towards being on the air more regularly. I know we've been every 2 weeks for a while, so we'll be every 2 weeks for a while again, I think, and then we're trying to get back to weekly, so stay tuned for that. So maybe we'll see you next week. I hope that we do. If not, 2 weeks from now, and until then, live, love, be.